Da, 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 da. All right, I think we're live. I think we should be live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to Strife Daily. I'm Breaking CBK, of course. This day, I'm going to be joined by Muffins.
What's up, guys?
As he's known by, I know him by Ryan. I know him as
yeah.
Shackleford as well, a couple of names. But Muffins, you guys will get to know him as Muffins. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing good as always, man. I'm always doing good. I gotta just play Strife for the next couple of hours. So maybe for the next couple of hours, we'll see. But no, with that said, I'm excited to be here once again. First off, let me actually kind of once again, this is a newer thing that we just started yesterday, of course. So to kind of give you an idea of what to expect for today, I know we are getting a couple minutes started here late, by the way, so I do apologize for that. But so what this is pretty much Strife Daily. Every single weekday is a plan. Every single weekday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. So this time slot, a couple of hours, we'll be coming on and we'll be basically just playing some Strife, interacting with you guys. Hopefully I'll be joined with a designer or whatnot, or somebody that works behind the scenes at Strife to basically as a Q&A, being able to ask questions with you guys, or answer questions, I should say, and about the game itself, obviously with it being a newer game, and a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have access to it, so we'll do our best to let you guys know in terms of what's going on, answer any questions that you guys may have. So with that said, Muffin's here. What do you do, Muffin? What do you do here for?
I am a creative game designer for Strife, so that means, you know, I design heroes, items, all the rules for the game. I worked a lot on the new player experience, so what's known as Caprice's story, the thing you play through at the start. I planned a lot of that. So
you did, yeah. How does that feel? I mean, how does that feel knowing that all these projects that you've been working on for? First of all, how long have you been working here?
2 years.
2 years.
Yep.
And it's all been Strife, right?
As soon as I got started here, I started on Strife, and that's what it's been. So yeah.
Now that it's 2 years later, you're starting to see it kind of go into the public. I mean, how does that feel?
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Super exciting. Yeah.
This is your first game. I mean, you're a young guy, obviously.
Yeah. That is the first big project I've worked on. Obviously, I've been designing games since I was a kid and in college. I've done it as a hobby, but this is the first professional job.
Now, more importantly, how good are you at Strife?
I'm pretty good. Probably, I would say the second or third best player in the office.
Wow. Do we all hear that?
In the office, yeah.
All right. Big words right there. Behind me, of course, and Diva, maybe?
Yeah, Diva.
Okay.
Diva.
And me? Okay, well, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe we'll get you playing here after me. We'll have to compare the matches, perhaps.
I'd be down to play.
All right, so with that said, I believe, actually, we are in a game here. So without further ado, I think we can go. We are ready. Good luck, have fun. We actually had a game started and everything, so I'll go ahead and let them know that we are ready to go and to get things started here. So, again, with that said, guys, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in chat. Right off the bat, too, I know a lot of people may be tuning in. Like I said, unfortunately, a lot of people may not have the game yet. We will be giving out a couple more beta keys here today at the end of the show, so you don't want to miss that. And actually, we were just told right as we were going live with the show, I guess IGN actually just released a video on Strife. And so we're going to be playing the premiere of that on the stream later on today as well. So definitely look forward to that and check that out. So, all right, in the game here, which hero should I play first off? What do you like to play?
My favorite heroes are probably Hale, Rook, and Caprice. Are probably my top three.
Hale, Rook, and Caprice. Yep. You like to try to carry the games.
Yeah, big carry player.
Have you jungled Hale before?
I have, yeah.
You a Hale jungling fan? I mean,
I don't like staying in the jungle for long periods of time, but I like doing it between ganks and stuff like that. So no, I don't actually just sit in the jungle. I actually prefer to stay in lane, just because I like to be more aggressive.
I think I'm gonna do Hale.
I'm a very aggressive player, so.
Yeah. Speaking of, okay, so let's start with, I mean, jungling in general with a hero like Hale.
Yeah.
Is jungling something that you as someone that works, what would you say, you're a designer? I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so you're a designer. On the game, is jungling something that you want to be a part of the game? Is that something not, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of the stance we've taken on jungling is we want it to be an option, but we don't want it to be mandatory at all.
Yeah.
And so you have to kind of drive on a very fine line where if you make it too efficient, both experience and gold wise, and you make it too easy to do, it can easily become mandatory.
Yeah.
So with Strife, we've kind of we've made it so the experience gains in the jungle aren't quite as good as the lane. The gold income is still good. So you're still overall netting an advantage, obviously, for having a jungler, because you're getting that experience that in gold you normally wouldn't be getting. But there are some risks associated with it. For one, you can get ganked pretty easily, and that the jungle is pretty accessible from most sides.
Yeah.
Also, soloing against 2 players is pretty difficult in Strife. So you risk, losing that gold in the lane where you have a disadvantage. In your 2v1 lane. So we want it to be an option, but we by no means want it to be a forced thing. And there definitely could be some tweaks going forward about how much experience they give. It could be slightly too low and stuff like that. So there's kind of a balancing point where we want to hit a spot where certain heroes can do it. By no means do we want to be forced. And that's kind of the stance we take.
So I'm gonna jungle here.
All right.
What do I do? How do I skill build? How do I?
So you've got Luster, so that's a good start.
I figured that would make sense.
So you definitely want to skill your E first. So that gives you the lifesteal and attack speed, which is great for jungling. And then you can kind of, for your first item, you can go with the
I know the hatchet,
throwing axe. It helps. It is kind of slow you down though as far as being useful. So it's good for jungling, and the longer you stay in the jungle, the more returns you'll get on it. But again, I'm a very aggressive player. I prefer to cut as many corners as possible. So I actually wouldn't buy it, but it's definitely something you can do if you plan on staying jungle for a longer period of time. And because you have Luster, it's even less mandatory. So I would actually maybe just grab like 2 potions.
Like what, health potions?
Yep, just grab some health potions, and I would just go ahead and grab either an Enduring Helm or...
I can't do the Enduring Helm now because of the potion. I guess I could get smaller potion.
In 10 gold. You can wait 10 seconds. The thing is, the creeps don't spawn until 30 seconds afterwards. So I would go ahead and grab that because your E scales with HP. So if you do that, you're going to be good to go in the jungle. And you really don't need the...
Wait, do I go the top jungle or the bottom jungle?
You definitely want to go in the top jungle. The top this jungle, side, because if you look at it, the bottom jungle, you've got the Ancients, which you really can't do easily from the start. You can do them with the help from your allies, but again, that requires the help of your allies. So
So how about the map design? So we're sitting there talking about the jungle and everything. How about the map? Like, where did the map design come from? I'm sure that was a process that took a while.
The map was iterated over over a year. It's gone through a lot of changes. One of the goals of the map from the beginning was that obviously it's smaller. We also wanted there to be lots of ways to kind of encircle people and very easy to cut people off. So it was very gank friendly. We didn't want too many. We also didn't want any like super frustrating. Oh, you got some action going on here.
Oh my God, it's Pan-Man. I gotta kill him.
The most important thing is that we wanted when you click on a location on the map, you expect to go where you expect to go. There's no like weird angles or like long stretches of unpathable areas, which kind of causes, and you see it sometimes in Han and other MOBAs where like you're like, oh, I didn't expect to go that way. So that was one of the things we did try to avoid. Obviously, sometimes it will happen, but that was kind of one of the goals, and we definitely wanted to go with a more open approach.
Okay. So I don't know if we have. It looks like we might start having questions in the chat here. So if you want to kind of look through and maybe give your take on any of the questions.
Have me look at it. Actually, if you have a question, it would help me. Do question in all caps and then colon and then your question, and then I can kind of just scan the chat for the questions. And like this person gave the idea, he just has Q : question. So we'll go ahead and see this. Do you feel like you guys are taking a bit too much of a casual stance on the competitive scene? So, as of right now, we haven't really taken any formal stance on the competitive scene to begin with. Right now, we're really just focused on the game. So we haven't run any of our own formal tournaments. In the future, we have some really cool plans. But I would definitely say that our stance isn't casual right now. It's just that we haven't started focusing on the competitive scene yet. So it's not our focus yet. So I would actually withhold any judgments at all on our stance on the competitive scene because it's not our focus right now. But we certainly, all MOBAs come competitive. If people play the game and they want to play it competitively, it becomes competitive. So. For what it is. Next question. See if I can find one.
Really, Pan-Man?
Do you know if they will email out beta keys soon? Sorry, I don't actually personally know the schedule for releasing beta keys. We are very early right now, and we are trying to kind of take it a bit slow with the load. That being said, obviously we are ever increasing the number of beta players, but I'm not sure about the exact schedule for that. Got it. Question. Will you nerf Dragon Shield?
This is important.
Potentially. We're looking at a lot of things right now. I can't say whether or not it will get nerfed, but obviously everything is up for being buffed or nerfed. I can't really say further on that.
It's still very early. Like,
yeah, it's still very, very early on. I mean, tons of balance changes are going to happen. I'm probably not going to answer too many balance-related questions just because we are so early, and so many changes are going to happen that like commenting on individual things right now is a bit needless, I'd say.
Are you? Just stole my treasure chest.
Okay, so we got a question right here. Are all heroes going to be dynamic in their positions, or are certain heroes going to have like set jungling roles or soloing roles and stuff like that? So that was one of the goals in Strife, is we really don't want any hero to be only good at one thing. So we're not going to really make a hero that has a skill set that lends itself for jungling, but is terrible in lane. We typically tried to give our heroes tool sets that allow them to do multiple things. That being said, certain heroes will obviously lend themselves towards soloing. Certain heroes will also be really good in dual lanes, but we really want to make it so that heroes can do multiple things. The worst thing we could have is that a hero who's only good for jungling, or a hero that has to solo or is terrible. So obviously not all heroes will be able to jungle as well as others. Not all heroes will be able to solo as well as others, but generally speaking, we do want to kind of incorporate more flexibility than maybe other MOBAs do.
Let's see, fun one.
So many questions. Okay.
Why is Diva so good at this game?
Sorry guys, I won't be able to get all your questions. There's just a lot of them, so I'm just kind of scanning the ones that I think are the most relevant. Will there be heroes who have their own minions similar to War Beast? So we don't have multiple unit selection in the game. That being said, and what I mean by that is you can't like drag and select multiple units at the same time. That being said, we will have at some point heroes that have multiple minions, but we don't have any right now. So I'm sure within the development we will develop some, and right now we have Lady Tinder, who has her ultimate, which isn't really so much a minion as it is kind of like a stationary tower. But we have experimented with a few heroes that do have like mobile pets or minions that they summon. We just currently don't have any in development, but there's no reason we couldn't. So. Can you explain how money from Baldir is split? Because sometimes I get a different amount. So, Baldir, while it does give gold to your entire team, it gives more gold to the people who are involved in killing Baldir. So kind of, it's the same thing with towers. So it just kind of rewards people for committing their time to it, because we don't want people who spend more time in the jungle to get a disproportionate amount of gold because they're getting the jungle gold and then also these team objective gold. So we just kind of give a little bit more to the players who are actually involved in the team objectives, to just kind of reward them for that. Are tri-lanes viable right now? We've tried it, but you don't see it a lot. I can't really say if it's absolutely viable or not. I imagine it is. It just, we'll have to kind of just wait and see.
Forward it is.
My follow-up to the...
Trample the weak, hurdle the dead.
Interface question. Sorry, I'm not exactly sure on all the plans for that, so I'm going to skip that one. Why are the monster camps changing? So, unlike Han, where you'll see like certain camps are kind of have like a set amount of, like you'll see like one or two different types of camps there. In Strife, there's just there's really only two different types of camps. There's the hard camps, which on each side there's one, and then there's easy camps. At the easy camps, you'll see like we kind of have like themes for each neutral creep. So like right here in the jungle, you've got kind of like the graveyard themed, but like the same things will spawn in a swamp. Like there'll be a set of 3 that's similar to that. That just visually looks different. However, within each camp, there's a bunch of different types that can spawn, and they're not really restricted to each type. So every green camp can potentially have like one of 4 different variants. Oh. So there's not really quite as much Like you're not gonna see like certain camps that like are resistance to like have more armor and stuff like that. It's kind of just all random between them. Do pets change appearance with levels? They do not change appearance with your hero's level, but as your pet levels up, like your account progression, they do get more and more mature. So when you first get them, they obviously look like kind of like little babies and stuff like that. You can see his luster jumping around, and yeah, they do. By the time they look fully adult, they look very different.
All buff and
yeah,
scary.
Your top tower has been destroyed.
Lol.
As far as purchasing rubies for skins, we don't currently have that set up. Obviously, that's something we'll be working on. It's just not in the game right now.
No problem.
Okay, so this is a good question. Why do I sometimes get 6 gold per creep kill that my teammates get while I'm dead? So it doesn't have anything to do with you being dead. So the way creep gold works in the game is each creep is worth 60 gold, but the killer of the creep never gets the full amount. So what's going to happen is it gets actually split between people in the area. So let's say that you have 2 heroes in a lane, it's going to go 30 to each. If there's 3 heroes in a lane, you're going to get 20 to each. However, there's an exception when there's only a solo hero. So when you have a single hero in a lane and he gets a creep kill, he still gets 30 gold, and that remaining 30 is split between the entire team. So that's why you're getting 6 gold if you're dead or if you're over another lane. And what that does is it really makes it so that roaming heroes or people who are more active around the map, they still get a bit of a passive gold tick, because when you roam, you naturally create more like solo lanes and that you're leaving people alone by themselves. So it kind of just helps those heroes that are more mobile and maybe they're not sitting in the lane as much. It also helps distribute a small portion of the team's gold so that single players don't fall too far behind. That's kind of the idea behind that. It has a lot of positive effects and making everyone feel relevant for most of the game. Is there any way? So if all heroes are free to play, will new heroes also become free when available? Yes, all of our heroes will always be free. It's one of the goals of the game. It's very important to us.
Okay.
Oh my god.
How do pets actually work? Do they give you stats or assist you in combat in some way? So when you first get a pet, every pet, when they start in their lowest form, they have basically one active ability that has a long cooldown. So for example, his pet right now, Luster, deals a bunch of damage to a creep. Another one will give you like a short leap ability. Another one will restore some of your mana. They all kind of have a different theme. And then they kind of upgrade at 2 points, so they become like adolescent and then they become adult. And then they get a new ability at each of those points. So they'll, at the second stage, they'll get what we call kind of like an automated ability. And basically it's an ability that triggers on something happening. So for example, we have a pet that when you cast an ability, when you land one of your abilities on somebody, he kind of does like a dive bomb attack and does some bonus magic damage. And then we have another guy that when you take damage, he deflects some of it. So it's kind of like something that happens occasionally on a cooldown. And then once they reach their third form, then they get one of 2 passives that you actually choose between. So he might give you a slightly more movement speed or slightly more attack damage and stuff like that. So each pet kind of has a theme, and then when you fully get to that last stage or form, you get to choose between 2 passives, depending on what your playstyle, and you can respect that.
So, and that's something to kind of like work forward to, like the grinding of the game is, to advance level of your pets.
Exactly. So getting new pets and upgrading your pets is a big part of the account progression in the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
How does this game handle snowballing, rubber banding a lead? So obviously all MOBAs have snowballing. It's kind of like the nature of MOBAs. It's kind of how you win, is that you out-resource the opponent, you get stronger. That being said, we really want comebacks in Strife to be viable, and one of the ways we do that is in Strife, the amount of gold you get by killing an enemy hero is based on their GPM, or how much gold they've acquired throughout the game relative to yours. So a team that's winning, naturally their entire all their heroes, oh, it's a big battle going on. All their heroes are going to have more gold than your team, which means all the kills that your team gets are going to be worth more than the kills that they get. So if you're losing, your team is losing, and you guys have a team fight and you guys go 4 for 4, meaning you get 4 of their heroes and they kill 4 of yours, you guys actually came out ahead by a pretty good margin. So that's kind of one of the big things is that rather than just having killing sprees, which aren't really reliable, like, you know, in Han, you have a killing spree that obviously that has kind of a comeback-ish mechanic, but it's not reliable because it's dependent on them getting, you know, not getting a death in between their kills. It's not really a reliable thing, and it's not necessarily always going to really help. And it also pulls all the gold into one character. So what our mechanic does is it really makes kills when you're coming from behind a lot more valuable. And another thing that kind of really helps with that is because our generators award a huge sum of gold to the winning team rather than spawning super creeps, it kind of naturally inflates the value of all the heroes in the winning team. So if your team is down, you know, 2 generators and you win a big team fight, well, if on average their entire team had like, you know, 50% more GPM than you guys are getting a lot of extra gold. So winning a team fight while you're behind is super, super valuable in Strife. And if you win like 1 or 2 big team fights like that, you can easily come back in the game. Are there denies? No, there are no denies.
What was the idea behind no denies?
Is experience? Oh, I'll get to that one second. Is experience treated the same way as gold splitting? No, it's just based on the area. Similar to honestly probably any other MOBA you've played. As far as denies are concerned, so the thing about denies is it does inject more skill into the game. But the problem is it puts a lot of emphasis on a single type of skill. So we really want Strife to be more about decision making and, you know, working with your team and execution. And what denying does is it puts lots and lots of focus on timing. And there's already a lot of focus on timing in the game. And so really winning the lane comes down to a lot of just who has better timing. And while other MOBAs, you know, players might appreciate that, it's not really it wasn't really the goal of Strife. We wanted laning to be more about, you know, skill execution. That's why we have higher mana regeneration values. You're going to use skills a lot more often. So landing those skills consistently is kind of going to give you the edge. And positioning is super, super important. You know, and then we've added some new mechanics like out-of-combat regeneration, making sure you're managing your own out-of-combat regeneration and also managing your enemies' out-of-combat regeneration. And so we've tried to compensate by removing that skill with adding new skills. And again, going back to the high mana regeneration, because there is naturally very high mana regeneration in Strife, you're using your skills more often. Also, we have lots and lots of skill shots in Strife, which means you're using skill shots more often. The players that are landing those skill shots are going to get the edge in the lane. So it's really that we just kind of, it's not that we hate denying, it's just that it's not the kind of skill. We already felt like timing was a big part of the game, and we need to put more emphasis on timing.
Well, you know, I will say, again, from the beginning, I was a little skeptical about that. I mean, I come playing Han, you know, obviously, you know, you're all about the denies and whatnot, but honestly, after playing, getting the feel of it, you know, things like that, the shared gold, you grow on it. You really do. And I go back to Han, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have to worry about this again. And it's just like, it's still cool in the end. But, you know, I definitely appreciate that.
I mean, denying is absolutely a skill set. It's just, we felt that we could create new skill sets that were more fun. Yeah, that was kind of the goal. So, when Strife comes out, will Han be shut down? Absolutely not. We have a separate team for Han. We plan to continue supporting Han. I still play Han. Strife's a different game, has a different team, and we will absolutely continue to support Han. What about the support heroes? What do you have in mind for... I'm trying to understand this question. Sorry, I'm gonna skip that one. Don't understand what
that was asking. If I could only W! If I could only W, I would have had you and I lived. Only.
What are you guys planning to do for unique player customization? Well, I would actually say that's one of the biggest strengths of Strife, is that we probably have more customization for your account than probably any other MOBA right now. So obviously you've got the pets that you progress through and you choose, you know, the passives for your pet. But on top of that, the primary way you customize yourself is through the crafting system. So if everyone's played MOBAs before, you guys understand that you buy these component items, these basic items, and you combine them together to create recipe items or completed items. What crafting allows you to do is, as you play the game, you collect what's called ore, and then you can go to you can craft items by basically changing what component or basic items go into the recipe. So let's say, for example, you have an item called Frost Prism that adds a slow to your attack. That's what the recipe does. But to build that, you might need to get some attack speed and some power and maybe some health. But let's say, for example, you're playing a hero that you really don't need the attack speed. You'd rather to have more power because you're more of a kiting hero. You're not really staying in for very long. You can take out that attack speed component and then put in more power. Each game you can bring in up to 4 items with you, so you kind of have to pick and choose. You say, okay, for this character I have these crafted items, and this really fits my playstyle. And you're gonna want a whole bunch of different crafted items to fit each character's playstyle. And as you play the game, you'll kind of get to experiment more. And what it really allows us to do is not only does it allow us to give the players a lot more room to experiment, but it actually allows us to keep our item system a bit leaner. So you're not memorizing quite as many items. We still have a pretty big item pool, but it's not quite as big as the other MOBAs.
The build-up items it's pretty limited, and
exactly.
I like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So you kind of can learn the item system pretty quickly. And the thing is, because of crafting, most items, or in general, a bigger portion of the item pool is applicable to more heroes. Because you're not like in other MOBAs, like you're going to not buy an item. Not necessarily because you don't like the recipe, but because you don't like the build-up, right? Yeah. It's like, I don't need mana regen. Why? I can't. Yeah. I like what the complete item does, but you feel like you're wasting half the gold on the build-up. So with Strife, you never have that problem. So really, you're just looking at the completed item and you're saying, all right, well, I can change this part about it to fit this new character, and it really just makes it really opens up the item shop for every hero. Hi, it feels like you have to grind a lot to get resources for pets and crafting. Are you planning on adding game of the day? Yes, we have lots of plans for first game of the day, quests. We are also going to continue to tweak the rate at which you gain resources. Keep in mind this is really, really early in the beta. This is kind of like the first look everyone's had, so you can expect lots of changes to those systems. In fact, we have changes going in pretty soon, and I'm sure changes will continue to be put in. Is there the taunt option? No, there's currently no taunting.
I wish. There is an animation.
There is an emote. So each character is going to have like an emote, like kind of like some will dance, some will like do something and say something. Currently, not all the characters have them, or all the heroes have them, but they will.
Yeah.
Can you scale the UI? As personally, I prefer a much smaller UI. So you can't scale the actual elements in the UI, but you can customize.
Here, I can show them.
Yeah.
So like, I have everything out because I like it like that. But like, if I this is how it starts out, like this.
Yeah. So by default, the UI is extremely minimal. All you see is your abilities with their cooldowns, and then you have to look at your actual hero for your health bar. Now, some players like to have a constant health bar on the screen. I personally don't think it's that useful. I'd rather look at my hero for my health, but some players like that. So if you want to, you can pin it. So right now he has the very minimal look, and you go ahead and show him, like, let's say, okay, I want to see my health and mana. So you go ahead and you see the bar down there, and you pin that. Some people like to see their items at all times.
See my items.
So see your items. Some people like that. Some people prefer to not do it. So you see how he has an active item? Now, if he removes seeing his items, you might say, okay, well, what happens? Well, you can see over there, any active items will then slide into your ability bar right next to the rest of your active abilities, and so it's kind of all in one place. I prefer that, but some people, if you like a more classic approach to it, you can just have your inventory pinned, and you can just use it that way.
I love that customization,
yeah. As far as actually scaling the actual elements, no, we don't have that right now. But obviously, as you saw, the UI could get pretty minimal, and you could have almost your entire screen to see, which is really
I need
nice.
everything. I need to overload it. Alright, there we go.
Yeah. How about new heroes? So yeah, we do have a pretty limited hero pool right now, and we're absolutely planning on adding new heroes. I actually just finished scripting a hero that we're going to start testing. We have multiple designers working on new heroes. Can't say how soon will come, but obviously, we're going to have more heroes in the game as well as new items. So.
Double kill. 2 more committed to double kill.
2 evildoers disposed of.
Will there be other game modes or other maps? We currently don't have any plans right now because obviously we have a lot on our plate with the base game. That being said, I would love to work on new modes and new game types. It could, we just don't have any current plans for that. So. No definitive answer on that.
No elemental tower defense.
Right now.
I wish.
What's the average game time? So you'll actually see a pretty good amount of variance in the game time, really depending on how close the game is. So if a game is not close at all, a stomp will easily end. I would say probably 20 to 25 minutes. That seems fair.
Yeah.
But a close, I would say an average game is probably 30 to 35, and then a really close one can easily go 45 minutes. So I would say probably on average maybe a bit lower than an average MOBA, but not drastically lower. I mean, our goal wasn't honestly to make super short games. We wanted stomps to end faster, and we wanted maybe the average game to be a little bit shorter. But honestly, MOBAs are all about progression, getting stronger, and there's only so much you can compress that experience without kind of losing what makes the game attractive in the first place. So we weren't really trying to completely recreate the wheel when it came to the actual length of the game.
That ability is on cooldown.
Are there any plans to have some sort of test server to allow players to test new content? Obviously, we'll definitely have testing clients, and we'll have people we invite to test those with us. We don't currently have that right now just because we're still very early on, but similar to Han, we'll have SBT and stuff like that.
That ability is on cooldown.
Questions about beta keys? Sorry guys, just to let you guys know, I can't really answer those. I have no impact on when keys are released. I'm not really privy to that knowledge right now. Not that I couldn't find it out, but right now I don't know. Is it possible to buy wards? No, there are no wards in the game. We just kind of made a judgment call. We just decided that warding wasn't fun enough to include.
This is wards, right?
So instead we have watchtowers throughout the map. You can see them lit right there. That you kind of fight the enemy team to control, and that's kind of our warding system. And the idea here is that we don't want any players relegated to buying all the wards. We want everyone buying awesome items and progressing. Even support heroes, we want them getting cool support items and cool utility items. So that was kind of the goal of that. And honestly, it has some really positive other side effects in that because there's no invisible wards that see you, vision in the game is a lot more intuitive. You can see when the enemy team has a watchtower, and you know how fog works, and you know how high ground works, and you know how brush works. So it's a lot easier to play a bit sneakier. Like you can say, yeah, I'm going to sneak on their side of the map, I'm going to farm their jungle really aggressively, and I'm going to gank this guy, and you don't have to worry about trying to counter invisible wards that could be anywhere. So it's definitely a different approach to MOBA, but honestly, I think it's a lot more fun. I don't know if you agree, Breaky, but
yeah,
I don't miss words personally.
No, I like it. That's why I cheer. I mean, I come from being more of a support player anyway, so when I want to just play pure support, that's it. But at the same time, not having to worry about that in the end, it's I'm fine with that by all means.
How does tower target acquisition work? So it's pretty simple. Towers will focus minions, or what we call them brawlers in our game, first. However, if you aggro a hero with a spell or an attack, the tower will then switch aggro to you. And it will remain aggressive. You'll maintain aggro on you unless you stop, attacking heroes, and it'll basically lock onto you for 3 seconds. But if you say, okay, I'm done, I'm good, it'll go back to focusing on brawlers instead. Are there any plans for a colorblind option? I don't know. I know it's something that I heard some people talking about, but I have no idea if there's any sort of timeline or plan for that right now. But it has been brought up.
No.
Not just yet.
In regards to vision of the map, currently the area that minions grant is massive. Are there plans to reduce it slightly? We are looking a little bit at innate vision range for both heroes and brawlers. It's being considered. No decisions have been made yet, but it has been brought to our attention.
That ability is on cooldown. Not just yet. Too much time there, little guys. Okay.
We haven't released any information yet on what we're planning for doing for like leagues and ladders yet. We are, you know, it is in development. It is important to us, but we just don't. We're not quite ready to release those plans yet.
Their end is nigh.
Whatever happened to the in-office tournament? We gotta finish that?
Yeah, we gotta finish that.
Kinda just
yeah,
remembered
that's right.
about
It's
that.
kind of just died off. Due to the changes in how gold is distributed, this seems to make support and carry heroes work much differently than it would in Dota or League of Legends. How are these roles going to work in Strife? So you're right. The roles are a lot different in that it isn't our goal in Strife to make certain heroes get 300% more gold than other heroes. In fact, in general, we would like good players, no matter who they're playing, a support character, a damage dealer, to get good amounts of gold. Obviously, damage dealers will naturally get more gold because the more damage you deal, the faster you can kill things, and the faster you kill things, the more gold you get. That being said, things tend not to spread out quite as much. And what that means is you end up with tanks, and you end up with, you know, utility characters and healers having still lots and lots of gold. And what that means is that your damage dealers aren't disproportionately more powerful than your healers and your tanks. And so really what it comes down to is it doesn't feel like, okay, if we kill this one or these two characters, we won the team fight. No, it really comes down to working together. You know, obviously you want to focus the damage dealers, but their tank could still be just as strong, and their healers could be really, really powerful even into the late game. So really, it feels a bit more even across the board. So your damage dealers are still obviously extremely important, but really every role is important, kind of in its own respect. And it's not like certain roles get worse and worse as the game goes on quite as much. Obviously, some heroes, you know, might lend themselves to being a bit better late game, but it's not nearly as much as you see in like League of Legends or Dota, and that is intentional.
Oh, we got it. Go, Rook! Go, Rook! Got him, pin him down. Kill Cthulhu!
I just got here and have no clue about pets, and they intrigue me.
Oh, what? Oh, nice.
Does every hero champion have a pet? Yes, when you go into a game, it's not that every hero has a pet. You actually choose both a hero and a pet. So everyone has all the heroes unlocked by default, but you have to acquire new pets, and as you play, your account progresses. But you choose your pet and you choose your hero, and your pet gives you kind of a suite of new abilities, like passives and actives. So when you go into the game, you're going to have obviously all your hero abilities, but then you also have your pet abilities as well. You can see on the UI, you can go. So that's his pet ability, and then it also has some passives associated with it as well.
Their end is nigh. Forward it is.
Will Strife start a new age of MOBAs? I hope so. I'd like to think it will. It's a really fun game. So far, we've got a lot of good feedback. Will there be any skins? Of course. There will definitely be skins.
There's a lot of cool skins.
There's a lot
I don't have any yet.
Actually, speaking to skins, not only will every hero have multiple skins, but actually every skin has multiple what's called die sets, which are basically different color schemes. So not only can you pick some awesome skin for your favorite character, but if you even want to be more unique than that, you can say, all right, well, I'm going to pick the black and silver die set and make yourself even stand
I
out
can
even
make
more.
Bo, like the big cow guy. You can actually make him look like a cow. Black and white.
So like there's a bow has kind of a cow skin, and then if you want to, you can go black and white instead of his generic kind of more.
Moxie has like a rainbow skin.
So
electric cow.
Yeah, as far as like vanity customization, Strife is pretty awesome.
Yes, it is. Definitely pulled that out very well.
Got it.
Speaking of that, hook me up.
That ability is on cooldown. Not just yet.
Maybe it's too soon to talk about this, but any plans for South America and other servers? So we actually want to keep our player base as unified as possible. Certain countries do just legality stuff, force us to kind of separate them. But in general, we want people being able to play, with each other worldwide. So that's all I'm going to say as far as that's concerned. But hopefully, answers your question.
The idea of this is supposed to be like a big global game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I can play with people from Southeast Asia.
Exactly. We really don't want to isolate people if possible.
Yeah.
Forward it is.
Will you regularly add new heroes? If so, how often? I can't speak to how often. We will definitely be adding new heroes. Obviously, our hero pool is not big enough right now. That being said, we really don't want our hero pool to get to the size of a lot of the other MOBAs in the genre right now, just because, including Han, just because we want to constantly and be able to invite new players into our game. And there's a point to which you get so many heroes in the game that new players just can't learn them. And honestly, a lot of fun of these games is knowing what every character does, and every character is kind of like a chess piece, and like you can't really play chess if you don't know what the pieces do. And so we really want the hero pool to stay at a manageable size. So we probably won't release heroes insanely fast. During the beta, we'll probably be releasing them a bit faster just because we're at a very low amount right now. But we will definitely, you know, not be releasing tons and tons of heroes, especially later on in the game's life cycle.
Forward it is.
No! Get away, get away, get away! Nice.
I know you guys don't plan this, but will you support esports for Strife if the community wants it? Absolutely. They kind of a lot of people seem to think that we don't care about esports for Strife. It's not true at all. We just, you know, we're very early on. We don't have any like concrete, you know, plans right now. We have a lot of things in, you know, that we're talking about. We're not quite ready to discuss those and share about them. But competitive Strife is definitely, you know, on our minds.
Don't.
So you mentioned that there will not be quite as many items in Strife as in League of Legends or Dota. How flexible will the items be? Can they dramatically change the way a character works? Of course. So we'll still have those really key unique items. What it really comes down to is we're not going to have quite as many variations in kind of the basic stat items. So a lot of the reason you see like lots of duplicate type items in the other games is because you have to accommodate the basic stats for lots of different hero types. It's like, okay, you might need a stat item that has these stats for this hero, like strength for this hero or agility for this hero, and this item doesn't work on this hero because this hero doesn't need agility and this hero doesn't need strength, and all these different things. So you need to kind of a lot of like duplicate overlapping items. But because of crafting, we don't really have that problem. So actually in Strife, we can focus more on those iconic unique items. We can have more of those, and we can have less of the overlappy stat-based items. And so, yeah, to answer your question, we can have a smaller pool, but we can still have very unique items.
That ability is on cooldown.
Does the game work on Mac, Linux? Yes. We plan to fully support Mac and Linux.
Double kill.
Do abilities scale like in League, or are they for the most part static? They do scale, so power increases all of your damage for both attacks and abilities. And you know, healing spells can also be scaled and stuff like that. So we really do want to encourage all types of heroes to be relevant throughout the entire game. We don't want certain heroes falling off in the late game. We want everyone to feel like they can kind of get to that point where they're just like crushing.
Yeah.
I've played games with Lady Tender where by the end of the game, you know, my healing is like killing
It's
half
ridiculous,
of
yeah.
someone's life, and I'm dropping my plant. It's just crushing people, and it feels good. Like,
Yeah.
I like to be able to carry with a support character,
Yeah.
and that was intentional. So.
Oh no.
Will items have unique attack modifiers, or all items stack? All items stack. You never have to worry about buying an item that won't do anything for your character, and that's, you know, very intentional.
Okay. That ability is on cooldown.
As far as languages, we'll definitely support multiple languages. I have nothing to do with that, so I can't really speak to when that will happen. But you know, we want Strife to be a global game, so we're definitely going to support, you know, as many languages as possible.
Onward.
But again, yeah, I don't know the timeline for that.
Just yet.
Again, the UI, you can't actually, we already kind of went over this, you can watch the VOD when it's done. You can't actually decrease the size of the UI elements, but you can really customize the UI and take away certain things that you don't need to make it a lot more manageable. And really just suit your preferences. So some people like, like Breaky, you can see he likes everything out. Some people like less, and again, we'll have the VOD will be up, and we kind of displayed that earlier.
It's like when people are dead, if you have an option, when people are dead, it actually shows them.
Yeah.
That allow you to tap in to do it.
Your team is dominating.
Yeah, the green double up arrows by his hero. So you can see the awards at the top. The MVP, each team you can see who's doing the best right now, and that is kind of decided by how many kills and assists they have. You can also see which hero, if on your team, you can see if you're leading your team in gold per minute. So you can see he has a single arrow, which means he has the second most gold. He's accumulated the second most gold in his team, and then someone on his team has double arrows, which is private. But it's not him, so.
Oh, it's
right now,
private? It doesn't actually say.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only thing that's public is the MVP.
Got you. Okay. And then on their side, you could also see like their kill system, most valuable player as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kill the Moxie. It must be done.
The barracks, or we call them generators in Strife, are permanently destroyed. So yeah, similar to, I mean, the way they function is very different, but they are permanently destroyed. In Strife, there are no super creeps. Part of the reason was that if we really want the game to constantly be about ganking and action, and we felt that super creeps kind of promoted a very defensive, not very enjoyable playstyle. So instead, in Strife, the Crux, which is kind of like the throne in Han, the main building you have to destroy, has 3 attack modules or attack towers. And every time you kill a generator, it destroys one of those. It destroys one of those attack towers, and it weakens the Crux, making it have less HP and a weaker shield. On top of that, it gives your team a ton of gold to every single player on the team. So what it does is it makes the winning team get ahead in gold and ahead in items, but the losing team isn't pinned in their base. They don't have like some massive strategic disadvantage, and so in order to come back, it's kind of on the losing team to kind of go out, retake control of the map, and get some good ganks off. So kind of comebacks in Strife are a lot less about sitting in your base and fending off hordes of minions while the enemy team, farms the entire map, and it's more about taking the initiative, going out on the map, pushing out, and getting those picks on those heroes that are now worth a lot more because they have all that extra gold.
Yeah.
So it's a much more comebacks, and in the way generators work, it's a lot more about an active gank-oriented playstyle.
This is turning out to be a very even game.
Yeah, honestly,
We'll have 2 generators dead.
I've barely been paying attention, but it seems like it.
This is, I'm not MVP anymore, damn.
If all items stack is multiple crit Thunderclaw possible, you can only have one of each item in Strife. Once you purchase an item, it's grayed out in the shop.
So like I have the Thunder Caller, and I'm going to be getting the crit next actually. And I also have like what's like a Frostburn style of item, or Ice Brand, I mean. So Frostburn. Oh, hello. What's going on over here? Oh, jeez. I'm out of here. Sorry, Rook. Oh, jeez.
He's dead.
I did see a question that's actually I'm intrigued by too. What's to do with stop cancel, or cancel casting?
All right, yeah, that's a good question. All right, so a lot of players that have played Han or Dota are probably used to animation
really good
canceling.
Players like me.
Really good players like you, and I was a competitive Dota player, so I'm very familiar with stop canceling.
Look at that! All right.
Yeah, there is no animation canceling in Strife, and that's for a couple of reasons. One of the big things about Strife is we want the game to be more approachable to new players. And when you're learning a new game, and this holds true for lots of games, not just MOBAs, is that when you're learning what enemy heroes or characters or whatever game you're playing do, you're reading animations. You're looking, okay, when this character does this, he's going to use this ability, and it kind of fortifies your understanding of the game. And when you're learning a game, animation canceling can be really, really difficult. It kind of confuses new players because they're saying, okay, well, I'm used to this happening following this cue, this visual cue, and or auditory cues. And when you kind of mixing those signals up, it makes it actually a lot harder for players to learn the game. And again, you can kind of look at it from 2 perspectives. You can say, all right, well, that takes skill out of the game. But really, if you think about what animation canceling is it's actually allowing good players to basically cover up mistakes they're making.
Yeah.
When you're animationally canceling, you're saying, I'm gonna miss this. Let me try again. I'm gonna miss this. Let me try again. I'm gonna miss this. Let me try again. And so by saying when you make that left click, when you commit to an ability, it's gonna go off. You can say, oh, that's reducing skill, but at the same time, it's actually
you need to make sure
it's saying that when you left click, just don't
Yeah.
don't. So really, what it comes down to is, you just have to commit to your skills and you have to land them. And one side effect of having no animation canceling is in Strife in general, we have much faster cast times. So it's not like we have these huge wind-up times in general that you feel like you really need to have animation canceling. In general, skills are pretty poppy, pretty quick. That being said, you do have ones with longer cast times. Obviously, some skills need that longer cast time to feel weighty. Like Rook's ulti has a bit of a longer wind-up time. But generally, skills like that will have bigger touch radiuses and stuff like that to compensate. So yeah, there is no animation canceling that's intentional. Yeah.
I think it's one of those things. It's one of those more. I'm just so used to it that I didn't like it initially. It's like, oh well, crap.
Yeah.
But that's actually a good explanation. I do definitely understand that. And exactly, you could consider it a skill that you have to really be sure now.
Yeah. To be honest, I still animation cancel. I've been playing Dota since I was in 9th grade, which is. Jeez, a long time ago.
You're like 45 now, so that was like
45,
70s or something. Yeah, jeez.
I'm 25 now, so I'm forever ingrained. I still try to animation cancel in Strife, and no longer obviously doesn't frustrate me at all because I understand the reasoning behind it. But it's built into my muscle memory. But no, it's not in the game.
That ability is on cooldown.
How does high ground work, if at all? High ground works just like in Han or Dota. If you're on low ground, I guess not. It doesn't work just like it. It's only vision. So if you're on low ground, you can't see enemies on high ground. However, there is no mischance in Strife. It's just vision.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just clicking stuff. I'm dead.
Max hero level is 15. You get 3 levels of your ultimate and 4 of each other ability. Did you guys win?
I'm a team player. That's all I care about. I care about the winning in the end.
Are you playing with Dylan?
I'm playing against Dylan.
Oh, playing against
and Fox
Dylan.
account.
Dang.
And Blinky the robot.
Man, big players, big office players.
Had to beat my coworkers.
How does hero unlocking work in the game? Again, we've answered it. There is no hero unlocking. All heroes are unlocked by default. When we release new heroes, they will all be free. We don't like restricting heroes. We think that that's part of the fun of MOBAs is trying out new characters and trying out new playstyles. And it's not. We don't really want to restrict that. So
I have 2 1s. I've opened 4 chests. Like recently, and 3 of the 4 have been 1s. So I have 2 1s to get here. I have a 7 and 3, I think.
We are. Well, I don't know. Actually,
which one should I pick?
Which
one should I pick?
I'm gonna hook you up. The top left is really good.
One second. Let me actually make it so that they can see us. There we go. You want me to pick top left?
Top left. Always top left.
I got 1 again! I cannot not get 1s!
Bad luck, man.
Is it though? Is it bad luck or is there something else going on here?
Conspiracy?
Oh my gosh.
Anti-Reiki CPK conspiracy?
Oh my gosh. Apparently, man. Apparently.
You're just too good. You're the best player in the office, and we've rigged
it doesn't want me to
too good.
Get really over the top. Okay, that's understandable, I guess. Alright, so that was a fun game. That was a fun game.
Yeah.
Did you want to play? I mean, or it has, I guess it might be getting close to the time.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have Pew jump on.
You actually have to work.
I want to get back to work, yeah. I do real work.
You do real work.
You do real work.
I didn't know how to take that initially. No. I don't do work, man.
I didn't mean like that.
I don't do work, man. I just play games. I really don't. Thank you for joining. It was fun as always. I'm sure we'll have you on more. Once again, Muffins, any shout-outs you want to make? I mean,
shout out to everyone playing the game in beta, and shout out to those who are patiently waiting for more beta keys to go.
Patiently, keyword. They're coming, guys. They're coming.
They're coming.
All right, so we're going to be playing more. Just take a quick break right here. I'm going to get the next game set up. In fact, it already is. We're even full. Go figure.
All right, see you guys.
Imagine if games work like this every single time. Thanks again, Muffins. If you want to go pee for me, actually. Yeah. Oh, there he is. He was right there, actually. Okay, actually, you know what? Do you want to play? You can play. Do you want to get in your own account?
Sure.
You probably do.
I can show them some of the You should tell them not to start the game until I get.
Oh yeah, no, I can actually just create another game. It's not a big deal.
Well, they're all in that game. And that game's gonna stay open.
Yeah.
You just let them go. I don't play with KG.
Was he in that game?
I think so. I think it was specking.
I could try a little bit too hard for that game.
Open up the
No,
game
it's
lobby.
cool. Anyways, well, here we'll log in. You'll do the same thing.
Let me log in.
Yeah, let me just have you log in real quick. Okay. All right. So that was Muffins.
Weird mouse.
Now we're gonna be joined by. You may recognize him. We're gonna be joined by Diva, the one and only. What the hell do you do, Diva? You just play games.
Nobody knows.
As well. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I work as a game designer in Strife, and I'm also doing a lot of the system design with the pets and the crafting and the whatnots.
The pets. So when are you gonna buff Luster?
Not going to buff Luster. I don't know. As far as balance things, just like Ryan said, we're not really going to get too far into that. We realize that some of the pets are potentially stronger than the other ones right now, but
Go here real quickly. Change it to lobby.
lobby. All right. So
yeah, that should be good.
this is my selection of pets right now. I've unlocked a lot of pets. I've opted kind of for more variety because I like to play all the heroes rather than getting any one to the max level. As the pets level up, the amount of food it takes to get to the next level incrementally goes up, so that you're really incentivized to branch out if you want to branch out. But if you really just want to focus on leveling one pet up to really high, I know someone like Emperor just focused on just one pet to getting into max level first. But,
Yeah.
So I have 4 different pets. They're all at least level 3. Level 3 is kind of when they unlock their triggered ability, which usually makes a pretty large impact. So.
What's the triggered ability?
The triggered ability is something that naturally behaves on its own, so it's AI triggered. So, for example, Razor is your next attack on a cooldown heals you for X health whenever you attack a hero. So it helps you get some sustainability, allows you to win some more HP exchanges in lane when you harass each other back and forth. Mystic, whenever you cast a spell that hits an enemy, it gets to go out and shoot something at them and nuke them.
So it's the passive side of things.
Right.
One of the passive, like actual active abilities.
It's the passive that you actually interact with and play around.
Yeah. That's what I said.
And then crafting items, you were talking about that a little bit. I've actually gotten really fortunate.
Yay.
So this is not
loaded over here.
Yeah, this is not staff hacks as much as people are going to say staff hacks, but these purple items are legendary. So when you craft an item, it has a chance to be common, which are the green ones, rare and get a rare bonus, or legendary. And the likelihood of getting a legendary is pretty low, but you know, as you guys can see, I've gotten pretty fortunate here.
Yeah. Just a little.
Just a little bit. And what's really cool is that a lot of my legendary items actually have the same rare bonus here. They have swiftness, so that one has swiftness. This one has swiftness.
Well, okay,
this
so
one
no,
has
give an
swiftness.
example. So this is your dragon shield, for example. This is a dragon shield that you crafted. First off, it looks like you changed the way you create it.
Yeah. So, Dragon Shield is an item that I build all power on because, well, if you just look at everything, there's a lot of yellow. So,
Yellow power.
for my playstyle, I'm a very kind of all-in, all-or-nothing glass cannon style of player. I like to kind of sit on the outskirts of a fight, bait my teammates a little bit, and when the opportunity is right and everyone's cooldowns are in, I come in and steal all the glory. So, on Dragon Shield especially, it's something that scales off of power. So what I did is I took the health component out of it and replaced it with another power component. So you can see the small shard there as well as the medium one as well. And what the crafted item does is it gives you a common bonus, and every common bonus is the same across all crafted items, is they will increase the recipe effect of the item by a certain percentage, up to 10%. So the shield normally gives 200 on Dragon Shield, and you can see that because it's the common bonus is maxed out on it, it gives up to a 220 shield.
Yeah, so 20% more, yeah.
10% more.
Or 10% more, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
And the rare bonus comes random, so there's a pool of rare bonuses that are possible.
Yeah, Doug was talking about that yesterday. What, there's like 8 or 10 like different kinds. You wouldn't know.
There are X
amount,
amount, and that X will probably go up as time goes on as well. It's something that we want to. A lot of the things that we want to do with the crafting system is not only offer an avenue for progression, and customization, obviously, because you're changing the components, but we want a lot of discovery to be involved. We want the players to go out on their own, make wikis, make guides to find out what's out there. So we don't want to go out and tell you exactly what you're going to get. We want people to discover what the legendary bonuses are. If we add another legendary bonus for Dragon Shield in the future, we want people to discover what that is. We're not going to put in the patch notes what it is. We're going to let people go ahead and figure that out on their own.
Okay.
So X, I guess. Mostly because I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Fair enough. And then see, I like the legendary part. Those ones seem random. Like even like so increases your move speed. Not really random, but they're very unique, I guess.
Right. They're supposed to be unique. They're supposed to be a little bit off the beaten path of what the item naturally does, but at the same time, it's still associated with what the item does. Whereas the rare bonus is completely tangential. It's completely. It is just something that you want, but has nothing to do with the item.
Yeah.
But I gotta go fast, so. I like my swiftness ones, and I've gotten pretty fortunate with my crafting so far.
When
so
at 250 power or above grants 2.4% bonus power amp. So it's like here's even more power since you're powerful.
exactly, and more speed because you got to go fast.
Oh my gosh! All right, so you just want to create a game, yeah? It'll fill up pretty quickly. Nice happening.
And while I'm not as good as Breaky, hopefully I'll offer a kind of a change of pace.
You know, we can't all be as good as me. I mean, Muffins was talking about it. He feels like he's probably like third in the office behind me and then you. So.
Oh, okay. I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah.
You're probably first, and then me, then Muffins, and then probably like.
The cam's back on. We gotta. Look good for the camera. There we go. Right. There's us.
Which camera is this one?
That would be the one camera here, yes.
All right.
There's no other camera around. So, to make it a little more challenging on you, perhaps, I'm going to be asking you questions.
Sure.
And during the cast, any that I, at least, wouldn't be able to answer as far as this
Do you want to throw up a
concerned,
poll real quick and see if they want to choose the hero that I play?
If you want to make a poll, yeah, sure.
So I can play any hero in the game, like, better than everyone else.
Wow. This guy. Which hero should Diva noob it up with? What do we got? Let's do like 5.
Rook. Carter. Hale. And Lady Tender.
And then
One
Vex.
More? Vex? Oh god, my Vex is bad. I shouldn't have said that.
Alright, let's do this. Yeah. Go ahead and vote, guys. Go ahead and vote, guys. Let's see what they vote for.
Alright, so my Rook is really, really good. My Lady Tender is also really, really good. My Carter is really, really good. My Hale's also extremely good. And then my Vex is pretty atrocious.
You shouldn't say that. I mean, you say that.
Am I baiting, though?
Am
I baiting?
Are you baiting? I don't think you are.
Could be baiting.
I don't think you are. This is the thing.
Alright, so gotta get some team balance in this. Riser's pretty good. Styx is pretty good.
Look at this Riser off of Bjorn.
Sender's pretty good, but you know,
spectating. The
thing is, every time I play against Sender, he does this thing where he like comes bottom lane and ganks me 15 times.
So he can stay spectating.
He can stay specs. Why don't I get Styx on my team? And we'll play against Riser, and that'll keep it fun.
Play 80 Carter.
Play Ray solo bottom, like we talked about on the car ride.
Never talked about that.
This is your chance. Yes, you did. We literally talked about that on the car ride to work today.
Yeah, but I've never done that.
Yeah, but you said Laser Lemon does.
And KGE.
Who's the best player in Strife right now?
Gloriosa?
She's probably second best behind, like, Cell.
Cell's pretty good. The troll is too strong. It is way
too
strong here.
Alright, it looks like Vex. Actually, Vex only has one
very
bonus.
Close.
It's very close
it's very
right now.
close. We'll try to, guys,
close.
vote if you can. We'll leave it over for another 30 seconds here. Let me start the game. It's between Vex and Tinder. All right. Will you be giving any beta keys to him? So as far as that's concerned, guys, again, usually for these daily casts, we'll give away 2 or 3 beta keys on these Strife daily. So we'll be giving a couple more away today, as always. At the end of the cast, about an hour from now, maybe after this game, depending how long it takes, we'll see. So definitely stay tuned for that if you are looking to get a beta key. Okay, executive decision. It's Vex.
All right, so
no more waiting. Let's do it.
So gonna fire it up. I've got gems on my account, so we can kind of mess around with the cosmetics a little bit.
Nice.
All right, so we got the Vex or not. Let's see. Vex is a hero that I like to play kind of as a ranged kiter. You can go around the map. You're very mobile, and you have a very useful shield to arrive as a support. In that sense, I like Mystic. Keeps your mana up, allows you to stay relevant. And,
here, if we're going to show off the skins real quickly, let me change this screen so people can actually see the stuff. Let's take that off real quickly. There you go.
So this is the gear set. It changes the base model. You see, it's still very easily distinguished as Vex, and that was one of our big goals. And then all the die sets will change the color scheme. And I like the gaudiest ones possible, so I'm gonna go with the pink one. I usually mass power on this hero.
So this is interesting what you're doing right here. So you only get to choose. You crafted like 20 items, it looked like, but you only get to have 4 going into a game.
Correct. So to limit the maximum impact that crafted items can have in a game, because they do offer a ton of specialization, what we do is we limit the amount they can take in the game with you. So for each hero, you're going to have kind of an interesting decision as to how do you want to potentially customize in this game. And what that does is makes it so you can't customize 100% of your inventory, so you're not like, so glass cannon, you melt in 1 second, also melt everyone else. It's still a really good amount, but...
This kid. What are you?
I'm...
Purple Vex in a
pink?
scuba diving suit. The pink
thing
is more pink.
It's inspired by something, but it's pretty cool. I really like that one, and my favorite ones are from Moxie. I don't think they're into the game yet, but Bastion's one is really good too, where he's got all that armor.
Going to the end game now. There we go. All right.
So
here's a good question. Why should people play Strife? Like, why should people play Strife over other MOBAs out there?
So what's really interesting about Strife is that every game designer kind of goes for this lofty goal of easy to play and hard to master, and that's something that's really talked about a lot. And with Strife, we're really confident that it's something that we've gotten pretty close to. It's the kind of game where we try to take some of the elements of skill involved in MOBA games, like last hitting, like warding, and all the burden of knowledge, to we want to minimize some of the more tedious elements and some of the higher entry of barrier to entry ones.
I told you this would be difficult. Trying to play a game, man.
We want to make it so that it's easy to perform at a baseline level, but still have a high level of skill differentiation, such that a player like me is still going to be performing a lot better than a player like Breaky.
You went there. You had to go there. Whatever happened to that tournament, by the way? When are we going to continue that so we can win it?
I don't know.
Where'd Milk Vat go?
I'm not sure if we're going to win it, because you're on my team.
Oh my gosh, this rudeness. But we will.
Alright, so one thing that a lot of people ask about Strife is, because it's such a quote-unquote casual game, is there still enough room for skill differentiation? And one thing that we've learned pretty quickly from beta is that players can still be better than other players, and there's a high level of skill disparity. But it's completely different, right? So we got a lot of Han pros, former and current, and we got a lot of players who are new to the genre. We got a lot of players from other games like League or Dota 2, or whatever. And one thing we've come to realize is, and we did kind of expect this, is that the skill set is very different. As you see Riser, a pro Han player, pick up a kill. Completely disproving my point, I guess. But the skill set required to succeed in Strife is significantly different than Han. So if you're a player who's kind of major living in Han, learning the map, warding, being kind of a hard support player, Strife is an opportunity to show off a different skill set. So playing a lot with Sender and against Sender, I've actually been extremely impressed with his execution skills. So Strife is a kind of game that really highlights the execution aspects of the MOBA genre, your positioning, your skill usage, and all the flows, gauging threat radiuses, and all that kind of stuff that you can kind of hide behind a massive amount of farm in a game like Heroes of Newerth. Whereas in Strife, because of the lower polarity and that everyone kind of gets farmed, you really have to be fighting fights smart the entire game. You could be the strongest player in the game, but if you start executing poorly, you're going to start being food for the other team, and because you're so farmed, you actually be worth bonus gold. So basically, being farmed is not an avenue to suck less.
Got some questions about, just so I can clarify, the G skill that he has. That's actually, first off, so what he did at the beginning of the game, we kind of talked about that yesterday, but another cool feature that Strife has is you can actually customly, on the fly, edit your in-game, your keybinds. So as you did at the beginning, you hit tab and you go over the key, and if you click it, you can actually change it to any key that you want with a shift and alt or control even. So you kind of quickly went through and changed it to how you like it, and there you go.
Yeah, and it's something that we found to be really nifty, just a quality of life improvement. That if you hop on your friend's computer, your friend's playing your computer, going to a menu, not only is it kind of you discover that your hotkeys are actually different when you do. Like sometimes you don't even know your hotkeys are different until you try to use a skill and it doesn't work. But you also have to then go into the menu and change it, right? So this is a kind of a immediately transparent method of seeing what your hotkeys currently are, and you can kind of change it on the fly while you're getting kills and talking to Reiki CPK.
That just happened. That just happened right there.
So I typically build Vex in a manner, in a dual lane, I max his Q first because it allows for long range harass. And in a solo lane, I max the W first because it allows for a lot of mana damage exchange. But in this lane, because they have an ace, and I expect the ace to be jumping on my butt a lot, I'm going to max my W to kind of punish him for that. And the main thing in Strife, once again, bringing up the terminology of threat radius again, is every hero has a different set of ranges and what their abilities do, CC, all those kind of things. And what Strife is all about is knowing when they can threaten you and how hard they can threaten you. So Moxie is going to be trying to poke from far away, but if Ace gets within, it's about, here, let me get into his threat radius. That's about his threat radius. That far away, he has the ability to jump on me without me being able to dodge it, slow me, and start just putting out tons of damage. And as a ranged hero who's pretty squishy, I'm not going to be winning a head-to-head damage exchange with Ace.
So right now we have what? There's 15 heroes in the game?
There are currently 14 heroes in the game. We're
heroes.
working on some more. We got some more in the pipeline, but we really want to, you know, right now we're kind of at the place where, yes, we're worried about the gameplay content, and we're going to be adding more things to the game to keep it fresh, as well as to, you know, keep adding and advancing the game toward an open beta state. But right now, features are our top priority, things like matchmaking and other core features of the game. Another element of gameplay is don't be afraid to use the courier to ferry yourself some potions. I like to spam them a little bit.
Everyone having a courier is so nice. I mean, that's another one of those things, you know, the shared goal, the no denying. Another one of those things you think initially, you know, again, me being a home player, a lot of us were. It's like, well, that's stupid. I mean, that takes away a skill, like, to an extent. It's like, but when you play it, actually, it's like, holy crap, this is so nice. Not having to worry about people using my courier, and not having to worry about the courier dying for that matter. You know, just being able to focus on actually having fun playing the actual game.
Yeah, one of the greatest challenges and kind of, I guess, annoyances with being a game designer or a developer is that you very rarely, the most important things you do are very rarely noticed. Because they're things that are adopted so easily that they just feel natural and become taken for granted. Something that we particularly did in Han that I feel was a very good change was to remove the secret shop. And at the time, it was a very contentious change. But afterwards, you know, playing other games, similar games, and having to deal with it, it really kind of opens your eyes a little bit as to, you know what did that actually bring to the game? You know, that's kind of like the uphill struggle that you have at times, because people are going to always kind of nitpick and question and change everything we do as developers, and this isn't just for S2. I'm not over here on a soapbox trying to complain about how we're treated. I think our fans as a whole are pretty awesome. But you know, every development studio is going to get criticized for a lot of the things they do, and then the things they do well, you know, they're never really brought up in the aftermath. So.
I think a lot of that too, you know, people, they have, you know, where it began, at least in a lot of people, is with the Dota. And, you know, changing something where it works so well in a game like that, it's considered to be, you know, blasphemy.
Right.
Yeah. Like, how dare you? Like, I know we talked about that when things like a staple thing as you get your ultimate at level 6. Right. Midas, they made Midas a level 4 ultimate. It's just like, wait a second. That's so different. It kind of makes sense, actually. It's, you know, it works, so.
For show.
Let's see. Is there a codex? Yes, there is. It's what is it called in this game?
It's called Flame Staff. I'm actually not a big fan of it, surprisingly. I just got the axe.
Dang.
Yeah, I got a little bit too yellow.
Freak doing work.
Yeah, so and that's where you see I got a bit too close to the ace, and then I tried to man up and things did not turn out very well. So,
Oh, jeez.
but I'm going to be respawning here with my ultimate up, and I'm going to go KS that kill probably. Alright, so successful kill steal, and let's head back to mid to get
So, you kill stole right there, but did you get any benefit over the other teammates that were involved?
No, so everyone who's involved in the kill, whether they get a kill or assist, I'm kind of trolling. I was trying to save the hail, trying to get there in time to save the hail.
Yeah.
Everyone who gets credit for the kill or assist, they get the same amount of gold. So there's really no point to kill steal or wait for the last hit. Just make sure someone gets the kill. So work together and make sure that the kill is obtained, rather than worrying about who gets the absolute last hit.
Yeah, and again, that's another one of those things. It's like, it's just nice having, because, you know, that's obviously always a kind of a big complaint in games, like in the MOBA genre in general. It's like, stop kill stealing me, you know, that complaint all the time. And
Exactly.
it just takes away that idea of it being a, like, it'll still probably be a thing where, like, because you want hero kill stats in the end, but it technically has no impact on the game itself. So.
Right. And I want to point out something for crafted items real fast. So my crystalline shiv is legendary.
It's known as legendary.
Yeah, it, like my entire inventory. No, just kidding. But it gives you bonus power when you're max health. So the item I'm going to be picking up next is going to be Dragon Shield. So it's kind of an interesting synergy with the legendary effect there, as my bottom lane dies against Stixa. I'm going to be trolling you later for this.
Because your Dragon Shield also has a max, like, shield.
Right, because it's now protecting, it's giving a buffer around your health so that you can stay at maximum health. And that power then multiplies off of the Dragon Shield. So that is one of those things, an element of discovery that we really want our players to experience. Like, holy crap! So if I combine this crystalline shiv legendary effect with the Dragon Shield, I can take it even further. So
Yeah. Oh, yep. I would kill him.
yeah, you sure he's not dead?
Okay, you might have him. Nope, nope, nope. Live, Rook, live.
You sure he's not dead?
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure, actually.
Nope, he's dead. See, faith in teammates.
He died. That's all the teammates.
I saw the stream on.
So speaking of crafted items, I mean, so what is the idea as far as, you know, as far as being able to craft items, you know, so that comes from grinding, like ore, I believe it is, with the chests. Is there any other way to go about crafting items?
Nope. So, well, chests are one way to obtain ore. There is going to be another way relatively shortly. I'll just kind of leave that out there. But the primary method of obtaining ore is just by playing games. And that is the only way. So you can't just, you know, pay money and craft. But what we really want to do is make crafting very, very low barrier. So every few games you'll be able to craft an item. And the goal of that is to really allow experimentation. So crafting is not about just thinking of one thing, crafting that up, and you're done for forever. We want people to think in their mind and really, really theory craft, which is why we're developing a mobile app, so that in a train ride or in the car, when you're not the person driving in the car, you can kind of toy around with the app a little bit and try to maximize and come up with new builds. Maybe you want to build that's all power. Maybe you want to build that's all power with some mana. Maybe you want to build that's all power with a little bit of health. Maybe you're not me and you want something that's not all power. But it allows you to really, really tinker with some things, and I've had a lot of interesting conversations with Emperor, Laser Lemon, and some other of the really experienced players in the beta so far about what constitutes a really worthwhile item to craft. Like, a lot of people have actually been crafting a silver buckler, which is this item right here, just to maximize the amount of armor. They actually craft it with the same component, with the region component, and they don't change the component at all, but what they're doing is they're just using the 10% bonus to increase the armor some more and the damage block some.
Yeah.
And what that allows you to do is, in the damage exchanges between a Rook and a Rook or Rook Vermilion, it allows you to gain a pretty significant advantage versus someone who does not have a silver buckler at all. So that's kind of been tossed around. Emperor's kind of iterated on that with an Enduring Helm version that's crafted to be regen. So there's a lot of experimentation, a lot of cycling of the ever nebulous term meta.
Yeah.
That the crafting system should hopefully help perpetuate and keep fresh, just based on how players discover the players.
So yeah, you don't want as big rare actually. I'm feeling okay. Wow, right next to them. Nope.
You forgot the shield to save my teammate. I'm a team player.
Yeah.
He's trying to feed anyway, but
I just got this. manning out.
Big man ups. We'll be good. We'll be good this kill too.
Oh, jeez, you got him.
But I'm
No.
Yep,
You're
I'm
good.
dead.
No, you're good.
No,
You're good.
I'm pretty
You're
dead.
Okay, so with the crafted items, but so it sounds like you don't believe that there's going to be any crafted item that people like they realize like that's the one I need to go for every single game. Like that's not the idea, obviously. You don't think that will be the case? Like, you're planning around that at least.
I don't think that's the case, and we're definitely trying to curtail that, and that's not what we want. As you saw, I have a ton of crafted items, and that's based on hero, that's based on game situation, that's based on whether I plan a solo or go dueling, and some people have been experimenting with all mana builds that revolve around the datum, and there's basically a pretty countless amount of things that you can do as far as innovating. You'll always find that you underappreciate what you already have, and like, so for example, I like to mass power, but after I did it to such a huge extent, I realized if I just added like 50 health to this build, my effectiveness would more than double. So there's always going to be an initial mentality of, well, why wouldn't I just mass power or mass health and go super specialized? But because of how the attributes work in Strife, it kind of naturally incentivizes you to diversify a little bit in your attributes.
Is Strife intended to be a competitive esport game in the future? Is it even possible for it to be competitive because it's made in such a different way?
I assume what he means by different, or he or she means by different, is that it's more approachable. And I don't believe that approachability has anything to do with skill ceiling. I believe that Strife is going to have at least as much skill differential at the highest level as these other games do, like I was touching on earlier, just because the game is different and there are not the same elements of skill that you currently appreciate in the other games, such as the warding, the map control, the farming, the last hitting, the denying. Doesn't mean that there's now not a new attention shifted to quote-unquote more important skills in a game like Strife. So the rotations in Strife are very, very important. The fact that you should always have someone farming a lane, not just because you're getting gold, but a creep is always worth 60 gold to your team, so even if you're solo, you get 36, everyone else gets 6. That's very, very important to keeping everyone's GPM nice and buff. Also, because the map's so small and creep waves spawn every 20 seconds, you need that kind of presence to hold the lanes at bay so you can not get it pushed to your generator. Like you guys last game pretty much gave up a free generator because no one was paying attention to bottom lane while you guys were pushing. Not a criticism other than that was kind of fail, but it's just another element to the game that, you know, as players who are familiar with other kinds of mobile games, it's not something that's really front of mind. And once again, execution and positioning are a lot more important in Strife than they are perhaps in other modes.
Yeah.
And it's something that is really action driven, so hopefully people will come to maybe appreciate it a lot. Bo's trying to die.
Again, if you, but at what cost? We're not die here.
But at what cost? I'm gonna die.
Oh, he's got an ulti!
Oh,
nice.
Actually, that hill just saved me. So.
Yeah, he did.
Good play, Rain. I'm gonna kill that guy with my no. Or feed. I could feed too. I'm probably going to feed. So I'm going to go port home because I have my ultimate up. I'll go land on their faces, but I finished my Dragon Shield, and this is an item that so a little bit about Dragon Shield. I'm going to go on a rant here. I feel like it's one of the most over-purchased items in the very small beta we currently have.
So it's OP over-purchased?
No, it's over-purchased as in it's not as good as people think it is, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because while it is very powerful in that it allows a specialized offensive build to patch up one of your weaknesses in defense, it does not benefit from armor mitigation. So a lot of times I see like a melee hero with only 130 power go Dragon Shield, and if you mathematically calculate, it would have been much more efficient to get the 150 health that Enduring Helm would have given you. So just something to keep in mind.
Just a small little
Opinion
that you have in there.
Let's get behind these.
You said the map was small. How does it compare in size to the other MOBAs? I believe it's been, we've talked about this before, I believe compared to the other MOBAs out, this is, I think it's safe to say, the smallest as far as the map is concerned.
It is the smallest, and a lot of that comes with our goals of the map feeling very transient and very much feeling like you're not just kind of stuck in a corner of the map, not really being involved. And we want to encourage a lot of movement, a lot of ganking, and it allows us to do things like not have wards.
Cool.
Good job, Timmy.
Don't want to go back in that.
Did you die?
You have destroyed.
Oh, he did die, yeah.
Wait, he died?
Bo
Yeah,
died,
he did.
yeah.
Did he catch that yarn ball?
Yeah, I think he did.
Got the
Such a
yarn
trash tier.
ball. So about that toxicity
Yeah.
that we talked about.
I've known Tim since I was 12. I'm allowed to be a little bit toxic.
What is the deal with toxicity? So obviously we have this message about toxicity and, you know, removing toxicity at least as much as we can from the game. What do we have? Do we have anything right now in the game, or if so, anything in the near future that's going to be coming out to promote that, or to, you know, obviously?
So currently, so we've talked a lot about our profit system, right? And it's something already that we're tabulating and we're keeping track of in the closed beta. So after a game, you can kind of tag someone, you know, with angel wings or I forget what
It's like a barrel.
Right, and
Barrel.
you can kind of mark them as toxic, and we're tracking that data to see how frequently it's interacted with, to see the distribution. And what it's going to come down to is that we're going to be able to look at all the players in Strife, and based on how people behave in this voting pattern, and the testing right now is very, very crucial to us getting some data on that, we're going to be able to identify outliers who are both on the positive or negative end, and be able to say, hey, if you're on this percentile of people and behavior, we can either reward you or punish you based on...
So you won't last too long.
Probably not. We've also been taking a pretty hard stance, as it is a beta, and you know the purpose of it right now is to test and seed a player base that is really in line with our vision for what we want Strife to be. We've been pretty strict as far as the no toxicity thing, and we've been removing some people here and there who maybe have not heard it through both ears. So.
What about stuff like conceding? And is conceding something that's in the game, or is it will it be implemented, or has that been, you're going to be over?
It's always a hot topic as far as some people want to be able to concede, and other people feel that the concede option contributes to toxicity. Yeah, so on the feeder. But it's something that we currently do not have in Strife, partially because of how we believe we've built the game, in that if you're winning by a lot, the game should naturally progress toward a conclusion sooner. And so that there's fewer games where it feels like slow water torture when you're on the losing side. And also because you're still getting gold, you're not feeling like you're pressed into your base and every time you die you're losing gold. You're still making progression, right? So you're still feeling effective. Maybe the people on the other team who are dominating like I in this game are still dying because they built a bit glass cannon and you're able to kill them still when you get on them. And that's kind of the goal with Strife, is that when you are far ahead, it's never like insurmountable, so that the concede is not as like black and white, I suppose.
Yeah, it's necessary. I'd say I've noticed that. I mean, even in games where I do poor, which is very rare, but you know it does happen to the best of us. You still feel like, you know, at least you're progressing as far as items go and whatnot, and that has a lot to do with the shared gold and whatnot, things like that. Do you lose gold when you die? That was the question.
You do not lose gold when you die, and that's kind of go along with the goals of lowering or mitigating some of the lows of the game. When you die, that's obviously a low. You don't want to die. Dying sucks. Like this guy's about to die.
Yes, sir.
And then I'm gonna run up away from their team. Kill that dude. So yeah, dying is already punishment. Not only because you like, wow, I died, that kind of sucks, but also because you are losing gold. When you're not out there, you're not farming, you're not contributing to the action. You are losing gold indirectly, and compounding it directly is not really something that's absolutely necessary. You know, some games do it. Han does it, obviously, but it's something that we felt didn't really have a place in the
will there be activated items? Yes, there are activated. In fact, his boots right now are the only things that are activated items right now. However, there's definitely plenty of activatable items within the game. There's a sheep stick, the codex that we talked about earlier. What's that? Oh, okay.
Yep. So there are some activatable items a lot in the utility section.
Yeah.
There's the Archmage's Ring, which restores mana to nearby allies. Wind Rush, which provides movement speed to nearby allies. Seer's Eye, Void Key. Pretty much all of these are activatable, and they are very, very powerful if used correctly. And I normally don't have my shop auto-populated, and they automatically pull up right next to your skill bar, so you know that they are activatable and they have a hotkey assigned.
Yeah. Well, when you have it set up like this, the interface, you actually took away the items from your interface, so only the ones that are activatable show right now. Unfortunately, it messes up our pretty graphic that we have on the stream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But okay. So as you see, so he put it back right there. Again, we talked about this earlier, but again to reiterate, so you can pin it or unpin it like he had it before. But when you unpin it, your activatable items and go to your skill, basically up to your skill bar, and you're able to see it right there with the cooldowns and whatnot, as well as what key you have to press, of course, to use it. So. But his boots actually, I believe those are the inertia boots, if I'm not mistaken. So that's it removes crowd control from you. It's one of the 5 boots that you can buy, I believe, that are activatable.
Yeah, almost
5 or 6,
every boot except for currently
6,
the power boots. The power boots are activatable.
So 5, okay.
So, let's go, guys. Man up, man up, man up, man up, man up, man up.
You're the only one there.
Right.
In League of Legends, we have smart casting, and in Dota 2, we have similar things to help cast up quicker. Something similar in Strife.
Yes, we have smart casting. It's something you can enable in the options. It's something that we will be getting feedback from players in beta and beyond for the best ways of implementation, but we appreciate that there are a substantial amount of people who like that feature or features similar to it, so we will definitely be having something like that. In fact, we currently do.
What was this question? It was actually a good one. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, big fire again.
That's right, I can multitask.
Why is the map on the right side, and can that be changed?
The map's on the right side because the map naturally flows from bottom left to top right, in which case, if you have the map on the bottom left, you're going to accidentally click it more. That is the reason, and it cannot be changed. That guy's,
see ya.
and that's one of the things. Their Rook is doing pretty well right now, and so is ours, in fact. But without that shield for me there, he probably would have died.
Well, speaking of bursts like that, I mean, you know, as a designer, is that something you do try to stay away? I mean, is that something you do appreciate in the game? Do you try to stay away from that? I mean, because he died pretty fast right there. Granted, there was a lot of teammates around and whatnot, but what's the idea with burst? And now,
so this is something that our game director, James Fielding, aka Fielding, he preaches a lot, is that players don't want to come into the game and feel like they're unkillable or invincible. They want to feel effective, right? And feeling effective as a tank could mean that you don't die as frequently, but what we found with Strife in particular is that people don't want to not die, so having low lethality in and of itself has potentially even negative ramifications. So it's not something that we're going, no, we can't have people who die quickly. If I specialize completely in offense and someone else does as well, that our fight is very, very knife's edge and very, very volatile is not necessarily a bad thing. It allows for a higher spectrum of experience, and it allows people to kind of more easily dictate and customize the playstyle that they want. So I really appreciate the knife edge play, where if you don't want to die really fast, then build defensive items and you won't.
yes, there is a Shrunken Head item. I forget what it's called in here. Stone Skin, I think.
It is called Stone Skin, but it works differently than Shrunken Head.
Does it? Okay.
So Shrunken Head gives you magic immunity. We don't have a concept of magic immunity. We have CC reduction and CC removal. So what Stone Skin does is it will remove any CC currently on you, including slows, stuns, whatever. And then for a duration, you will have damage, incoming damage reduced by a percentage, as well as CC reduction for that duration.
Okay. So more about the crack control reduction. Yeah, there's
Stoning those guys out. I'm popping that. Alright. Looks like our Rook's gonna go in and go ham, but he's gonna die to Ryzen.
Oh, Bastion, Mr. Tank.
But it looks like we're raiding their backlines as well. And you can see kind of like as these fights play out, they move a lot of distance. It's not like a 5-second and over thing, as I'm assuming this guy can shield it right now. Unsuccessful bait.
Nice.
So these battles last for a while and they do traverse a little bit, so it allows for a lot more utility items to become a viable option rather than just pure burst. And as much as I love burst damage, I'm actually not a huge fan of the flame stat, just because
But speaking of that, actually, so things like Flame Staff, though, as far as if it's doing magic damage, that actually scales with the magic items that you get that increase your power, I guess.
That is correct.
Yeah. So.
I just shielded a creep.
Well, what's the concept behind that?
So power scales not only your ability damage, but also your attack damage and your item damage for a lot of your items. So likewise, my power is scaling my dragon shield. So now it's giving.
It started at 220.
Right. So now it's giving. Yeah, I've got a lot of power. So the power is a very, very generally universally useful attribute. Pretty much everyone's going to want at least some power, even your tanks, and that goes along with what I was saying about earlier. You always want to diversify a little bit, right? Even if you're going a pure tank, the first 14 power you purchase is going to be a 14% damage increase, because if you're going from 100% damage to 114%, but the next 14 power will not be quite a 14% increase, right? Because you're going from 1.14x to 1.28x. So that naturally makes it so that you're incentivized to diversify a little bit, so that you know, at least splash a little bit sporadically, a little bit of power.
Oh,
also, my shield removes crowd control, so it's very useful for kind of bailing people out of rough situations.
Yeah, that got nerfed too. Just saying.
What are you trying to say?
Just saying.
I'm dead.
Can you have 100% critical chance? People are bringing it because it's about like being able to stack.
So there's currently only one item in the game that grants a critical chance, and it is called Wound Splitter.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite items because it makes this extremely satisfying noise. Whenever you get a crit, it's like ching, 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 ching. And when you're playing Rook and you get all those double attacks flying out, you hear a lot of them, and people start exploding. So I craft it with all power.
Of course. Of course.
But no, it's the only critical item in the game, and when you have it crafted, it has that 10% bonus to it, so that instead of a 20% chance, it becomes a 22% chance. But currently, that's as high as it goes.
Okay.
I won't rule out adding more critical items in the future.
Yeah. As far as like we were talking about this, so as far as like cooldown reduction, because there's a couple items that get cooldown reduction, so that stacks multiplicatively, or however that word goes.
Right. So there's no hard cap on cooldown reduction like in some other games. So there's no like hidden barrier that you can't break across. What we're trying to do is just make it as intuitive as possible. There's just not enough items in the game that give cooldown reduction that you can have infinite cooldown reduction.
Yeah.
Everything non-stop. So.
Morph and orb abilities stack. So everything does. All items you can get, and all these arrows and whatnot, they do stack on top of one another with themselves. But you cannot buy the same item more than once.
No, you cannot. You can only have one of each recipe item, and that makes it so that you don't have like those crazy corner.
But you can have like a crit, a slow, and things like that on top of that. It doesn't work like on or anything where you can only get one orb or attack modifier, I guess. Yeah. So this is where you're at right now. This is Sindara. Sindara is one of the two bosses, of course. Well, that's not Sindara. That's Bastion, which is gonna die. But Sindara is right there to your left, obviously, and that's one of the two bosses. That's the bigger boss, I guess you can say. Of course, that's one that spawns Krytos.
Yep, the angry gorilla.
Yeah.
And so as the game progresses along into the mid to late game phase, you see more and more of the team fights happening around Sindara. Even if a team's not attempting it, you see like a lot of times you want to make sure that they don't just get in there and get it, right? So you want to stay kind of in the area, and it kind of naturally moves the game into a more volatile state as people are getting stronger and stronger. Death timers are increasing. People are gathering more around a central area.
Tactical dominance achieved. Vectors received. Realigning.
Let's see. How many heroes will be coming out before the actual release of the game? Like, what's the goal for, say, open beta?
We've tossed a lot of numbers around, and at this point, it's not. We don't really want to commit to anything too specific. Not 120, but right now we're at 14. We want to be adding some more in the near future. We want to be expanding content at a pretty rapid rate for the time being, but No exact number, just know that we're definitely looking to expand.
Well, I think the cool thing too on that is that right now, even right now, I mean, there's only 14 heroes as you said, but with the pets, with the crafting especially, there's still diversity playing the same hero, and you can play the same hero many different ways. Every single hero, basically.
Right.
We were talking about Lady Tinder earlier. Yeah, the idea that she's more of a support style hero with the heals and whatnot, the shielding.
Double kill.
Vex, you can feed a lot, as he's showing, but like on Lady Tinder, you can also carry at the same time. Like, you can make those heals do insane amount of damage as well as heals to your teammates. And you can, be that focus for your team.
That's exactly right. Not only do you have the customization options with the crafting and the pets, but you also have the fact that our heroes are intrinsically designed to be able to go into multiple different directions. They're not really designed to fit into a very, very tidy hole, so to speak, so that you can play Tender as something more than what you maybe see in the surface level. And that allows for a lot of room for discovery, a lot of room to deep delve and theory craft about figuring out how is this character most effective, right? And I'm sure some people feel like they're figuring a lot of things out. They may or may not be right in that, but it is at the point where we want to add more content, but we feel that there's already, like you're saying, a lot of content with just the 14 heroes.
Yeah. Global ultimates, no, there's more than one. We got Rook, we got Vex. Is there more than that?
There's currently just those two, I believe.
Those two, yeah.
Vex's ultimate is one of the most powerful in the game because it allows you to do something really important in this game, controlling side lanes and side pushing, and pressuring the generator while still being quote-unquote present or ready to be present for a team fight.
What's the idea with it? Because, in other MOBAs, I mean, even Han included, I mean, a lot of it comes down to, there's that PvE part to it where, a lot of farming, pushing out creep waves and whatnot, a lot of farming in the jungle. Would you say Strife, that aspect is still there, or is it actually more about hero interaction?
One of our goals was definitely to have a lot more hero interaction than, say, the other games, but we don't want to diminish the strategic value of things like controlling different portions of the map and interacting with key objectives. At the same time, we don't want to make them mandatory, right? So we don't have any key neutral buffs in the jungle that if your team's not getting, you're pretty much at a massive disadvantage and you're most likely going to lose. We want to make different options just that. We want to keep them options, and we don't want to make them a mandatory thing. So, for example, one thing that we get asked about a lot is, what's our stance of jungling? We want jungling to be a very viable option. We want it to have intrinsic...
As I showed the first game today.
Yeah, you didn't do it very well, but... we want jungling to be an option. We want it to have intrinsic rewards and risks. But we don't want it to make it mandatory, and we don't want to make it impossible. And I think currently Heroes of Newerth is kind of a good example of a game that has jungling as an option. It's a very viable option, it's a very powerful option, but it has risks as well as far as how you need to structure your lanes around it, right? So that's something we're very happy with, and it's something we'll look to emulate here with Strife. For now. I'm probably going to jump back in with my ultimate.
Kind of talk about the laning as actually we're getting in game mode here. Do it. Do it. Oh, here we go. No, we missed.
Oh, Shiz, I'm out of mana.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Good life.
Tim saved me.
Oh, the bow! The bow power. I love bow. Bow's my favorite hero. That's the background. Bow is the hero that I dominate with. If
you were better with it, we might not have lost in the tournament.
Okay, this side of you, I don't know. I'm gonna downvote you.
You're gonna downvote me. That's kind of rude.
Speaking of the map, the laning and whatnot, we kind of into this early. People may have been noticing, solo's bottom, and that's obviously unique. Pretty much. I mean, people are so used to seeing the solo mid. You got the 2-1-2 setup basically. Why?
The reason that the current meta, and this might change in the future, is centered around soloing in the bottom lane is because Baldir, the kind of easier to achieve map objective, is in the top. So you want to center as many people around there as possible to contest for it. And also, if you look at the brush patterns on the top lane and the bottom, you'll notice that there's two separate ones top.
Yeah.
But there's only one large one bottom, and the one on bottom does not extend as close to the towers.
Okay.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult in a 2v1 situation to pressure into the bottom lane. So you can send one bottom and be more protected against if the other team decides to send two there.
So was that something intended from the beginning, or is that kind of something that kind of you realized as people played it earlier on? I was like, wait a second, this is something that makes sense. was it actually intended with the map creation and whatnot?
Kind of half and half. Well, we wanted there to be a reasonably agreeable upon. That's really bad English, but we wanted there to be a consensus that people could reach as far as the solo lane, because 1v2 situations we don't want to occur, every game.
Yeah.
It can be very frustrating to be the one in that equation. So, in that sense, it was slightly intentional, but at the same time, if it shapes out completely differently and our player base is happy with it, and the feedback we get is positive, then we're open to that as well. We're all for emergent gameplay and what the players come up with. We feel like that's led to some of the best gameplay in the world as far as gaming goes. Case in point is the MOBA genre. So we want to allow people the room to innovate here and make Strife, their own business for it.
Yeah. Keep him alive.
I was kind of waiting for him to reach the fence there, but maybe I should have shielded earlier. Just because
oh, big ulti, turn it. Oh, come on, man mode.
I'm not gonna die. I might die.
Yeah, shield.
Yeah, I'm really bad because I forgot to use my void key. So I just picked up an activatable item. It makes me invulnerable for a couple seconds, so it allows me to dodge things like Bastion stun if I'm good enough, which seems to be a problem.
Yeah. We need this.
2 more meals for my companion.
Feel free to keep asking questions, guys. We're going to be on there, obviously. This will be the last game, but still probably have a little bit longer here. So, if the Crux is damaged enough, could you end the game by destroying generators? The generators don't do damage to the Crux, do
they? They do. So when you destroy a generator, your entire team is rewarded with 1,500 gold each, and the Crux is hurt. So
okay.
I believe at some point it was possible. I believe it still is currently. So it removes the shield and deals a bunch of damage to it.
Okay.
So I'll show you something here. We have tomes in Strife. Makes so the progression in your character never stops. Normally I wouldn't be getting tomes right now because I would sell my Fellblade for something more slot efficient at this point in the game. But just to show you, so you buy a tome. They're kind of somewhere between component efficiency and recipe efficiency. So you don't really want to get those until you exhaust recipe options for the most part, but allows you to just quickly and instantaneously spend gold to get an attribute. Yeah, you see, like I've got 348
Did you
power.
grow? I feel like your hero like you're there.
No.
So you can't spam buy tomes and you just get large.
No, it's not. It doesn't work like a magic mushroom. No, it's not a thing.
As far as the cost though, you said so it starts at 500. It increases by 100 for each time you buy it.
Correct. Once again, trying to incentivize people to diversify a little bit. You see, I'm still prioritizing power, but I put one into health and mana just because it gets to a point where I might as well, because the efficiency rate per gold spent is just so much higher for those attributes.
Do creeps get stronger when you kill a generator? No, it's not. Or they don't, correct? So the killing the generator, it actually both damages the Crux as well as takes away the damage portion of the Crux at that angle or at that side. So
that's correct. There's no such thing as super creeps. And this is something that we talked about for a really long time and very carefully considered. It's kind of considered a linchpin toward the game ending in other MOBAs, but the reason we'd want to stay away from it is because it creates kind of a impending doom feeling, whereby you're constantly being hemmed into your base and you don't really feel like you have the option to push out to contest for objectives like a Congo or something like that. So with Strife, we wanted the game to always feel like it's focused toward action instead of just this strategic nitty-gritty. So in that sense, we wanted to keep the rewards for destroying a generator immediate and very gold-driven.
All right. And this is actually one big question I want to get out here before we start wrapping things up here. Metro Clock asked about, is there going to be some kind of tutorial for this game? Because it feels like other MOBAs, maybe not the best at doing that.
We have a pretty a new player experience that we spent a lot of time on. It was one of our core focuses coming into beta, and we are very proud with what we've accomplished. That said, we have been taking a lot of feedback from our beta players, and we'll be looking for ways to improve it. But our new player experience is more than a tutorial, and we don't actually like to call it a tutorial because that has a lot of negative connotations as far as being boring or being purely instructional. It's kind of set up in a very shinies.
Yeah, you're gonna get the 1 because I've been getting the 1.
I'm gonna probably get the 7 though.
You're probably gonna get the 1 because that's all I get. So
I got Diva hacks. Yeah. So, so with our new player experience, we wanted to teach you about the different systems of the game, teach you about pets, introduce you to pets in a fun, interactive way, teach you about crafting in a fun, interactive way, and have it teach you the mechanics wrapped around fun, and have the experience be something that is memorable and something that is enticing so that you don't want to stop. And I feel like we've done a pretty good job. We can always improve, but if you check it out and you try it, I guess you'll see what I mean. As far as there's an RPG element. Are you bad?
Story driven.
No,
it's story
I'm
driven.
good. I'm good.
Yeah.
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 I played like 5 games. I got 4 1s.
I mean,
And a
if
3,
you were
I
better, I got MVP that.
Higher level pets will aid you
Your
more.
pet just grew.
Yeah, my pet just evolved. I just got my razor to 6. So, when your pet evolves, which happens at 3, he gets access to a new ability. And the second evolution, at level 6, you actually get to choose between 1 of 2 passive boosts. So you can kind of choose between vampirism and savagery. This one gives damage.
Really? You doing that over the lifesteal?
Yep.
Dang.
I ferry a lot of potions to myself anyway when I'm playing Rook. So.
What about respec though? You can just do that on the fly. That doesn't cost anything.
It's going to cost food. I'm
It
not
will
sure if
cost
it's
food.
currently.
Okay.
Yeah, it's currently not.
Okay.
It's not hooked up for it, but it's going to cost you food. So that it's like a semi-permanent choice. You want to make that tension decision of do I want this or the other thing, and it's not really that costly to switch back and forth, but it's just something that you're making slight commitments to based on what playstyle you want to achieve for the time being.
All right. Cool. All right. I think people are anxious though, as we're going to start wrapping up here, as we've been finishing off with. Going to be doing some key giveaways. So
Awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and take a seat. You can get out of my chair now.
I mean,
Take back the throne here.
you probably wish I was playing on your account to get that 7 chest
Yeah,
to
I
make you look good.
actually, but
Yeah.
you probably set it up so I can't get anything higher than 1, so that's okay.
Maybe.
All right, so let's get back to this screen here. There we go. Okay, so guys, it is time now to again have your most favorite part, I'm sure, of the Strife Daily. So with that said, we'll be giving away 3 keys today. 3?
We did 2 yesterday.
Are we doing what we did 2 yesterday?
I think 3 is good.
This guy thinks 3 is good.
I think you should give away more than 3.
More than 3?
I think you should give away 20.
There's a voice over here that wants us to give away a lot more.
All right, let's do like 5.
5?
Let's do like 5.
No.
Malikin's over here trying to push for like lots,
And Diva doesn't want to.
I mean,
I see. I'm gonna become a fan favorite.
yeah, you're gonna be the good guy. And I'm gonna be the jerk.
20 keys. Just
20.
do it. Just do it. You've got what? 500 people watching the stream.
Yeah, close.
Yep.
Executive decision.
We're doing 20 key giveaways. All right.
All right.
We're doing 20 key giveaways, as Malikin said in the background. So there you go. Okay, so what we'll do here, we'll just do this again.
You should do some of the rolling.
It'll be all one word. Strife Best MOBA. Type it in chat, guys. You also have to be following. If you're not following, you will not be eligible. So make sure you're following the channel. Just type Strife Best MOBA. Only type it once. If you type it more than once, it'll be ineligible. It will not actually count. So only tap it once. Don't spam the chat with more. And this is a chance to win one of the 20 beta keys that we're going to be giving away. So as the chat goes wild.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun.
Yeah, this is a cool app actually
Yeah.
that Twitch has on Chrome for easy giveaways. So once we give it a minute here. So as far as while we're waiting for that to add up, guys, again, so this is the Strife Daily once again. So obviously the whole purpose of the show is not only to just get some continuous content going every single weekday from 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern. We're just going to be playing the game, hanging out with you guys, getting some behind-the-scenes interaction. Obviously, today we've had both Muffins and Diva here. Yesterday we had Doug on as well, or what's this, Shade, as he's known by, Sade. So yeah, we'll have Strife members on, from behind the scenes to do some Q&A with you guys, and give us as much information as we can for the time being. So obviously not everyone has access to the game yet. We are understanding of that, and so we're doing our best. Make sure to get you guys at least somewhat involved and get you guys an opportunity to experience Strife for the greatness that it definitely is. So hopefully you guys definitely follow the channel. Look to tune in every single week, at least a couple of weekdays. Again, we hope to make this a very consistent thing. So. All right, I think we're good. I think we're at a point where we can start rolling here. So we're going to be doing some rolls here. We're going to roll, and we'll announce the winner. And we'll be messaging you in a little bit. So since we're going to be giving away 20, I'm going to open up all the tabs here, and I'll have to message them. So you want to roll? You want to roll here? Okay, here I'll roll the first 5. How about that? And you can do the next 5, and then Malik can step in over here. All right, so here we go. Here's the first one. Gotta be following, guys. Gotta be following. Rules are rules. Come on now. All you gotta do is click that follow button if you want a chance. Kika Dauffer, congratulations, whoever that is. No, Kika Dauffer. I love some of these names, man. Kika Dauffer, congratulations. You win the first beta key here, so we'll go ahead and send you one. All right, next roll right here. Arusia 5. Congratulations, Arusia 5. You are winner number 2. Congrats, Arusia 5. Roll again. Lavia Crane. Welcome to the world of Strife. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. I know you will, for many years to come. Go ahead and open that tab right there. Congratulations, Lavia Crane. Next winner, Yonam. That makes more sense. Yonam. Congratulations, Yonam. Winner number 4. Strife Best MOBA indeed. Congrats. You're going to be getting your beta key. Check your Twitch messages for your beta key, guys. Oh, we got it right. There we go. Don't want to miss that one. All right, so last roll from me. Pugs can fly. Yes, they can. Pugs can fly.
I'm a flying pug.
Congratulations. Pugs can fly. You're the 5th winner here. So you'll expect to get your beta key in your Twitch messages. All right, I think Diva wants to.
My turn.
Wants to do a couple right here.
Cool.
I don't know if the mouse will go all the way over there.
Do you still want to announce the names? Because like
sure,
you have
I'll do
trouble
the
pronouncing
announcement.
them. And
It's tough sometimes. Yeah. What? Really? Gasananasha. Congratulations. That guy. No.
I gotta do that?
Middle click the right message.
Alright, got it.
Did you? You
Yep,
did? Okay.
I got it.
Okay. Alright, so Gasananasha, congrats. Next one. Gotta be following, guys. Gotta be following. Alright, next one. Kraken Rule. Congratulations, Kraken Rule. Yeah, man.
You oughta tell those people who aren't following that they
I'm telling them, man.
No, I'm saying that guy's name. Call them out.
All right. Next one, I'll call them.
Fungles.
Why aren't you following Fungles?
Click the follow button.
You gotta click the follow button. You would have been able to play Strife right now.
Now.
Oh, man, I feel so bad. You have another chance. You have plenty more chances, though. You gotta follow. You have more chances. Smoke Me Dat Green. Welcome to the world of Strife. Smoke Me Dat Green. Welcome to the world of Strife. Do you want to keep rolling your enemy and take it away from you?
How many have we done?
I don't know.
That was 19, right?
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was 8. We got 2 more from you.
2 more. Punisher LOL.
Punisher LOL. Sure. Punisher LOL.
Congratulations. Congrats. You will soon be able to punish people in the world of Strife.
There you go. Vuck Pro. Congratulations, Vuck Pro. You're a winner number 10 here. You were halfway done on giveaways now. Halfway done on giveaways.
I don't. What, you need me to come on camera?
Yeah, we do.
You need to come on camera and push the button.
Blues.
This needs to happen.
All right.
The man that allowed for 20 giveaways today.
What's going on, guys?
We got Malik in here. All right, so all you gotta do is hit roll again. I'll let you announce it.
Why is that? Yeah, Fister.
Congrats, Fister.
Welcome to Strife.
There we go. All right, got another one here.
DePezza.
The one and only.
The one and only.
DePezza, going to be entering the world of Strife. Is it the Arena of Strife? I guess the World of Strife?
The Arena
of Strife, you should be saying. What's this World of Strife we're saying?
Slayer Man 7.
Slayer Man 7. Going to make the big plays, I know it. He's going to be top of the ladder.
You can say that one.
Mizunpi. Congratulations, Mizunpi. I don't know how you're going to do. Maybe not as well, but...
Adderthad. Welcome to the Arena of Strife.
Adderthad going to be joining the Arena of Strife. There we go. What do we have? 5 more, I think?
Yep. H2 Pro.
H2
Bro. H2 Bro, welcome, welcome. Strife.com, guys. Once you do get these keys, all you need to do is go to Strife.com, and you go to the player portal, I believe it is. You enter the key, download the game, you're good to go.
Aww.
What do we got here? Oh, that's a cute name.
Yeah, Baby Teddy. You're going to fit in perfect.
Baby Teddy joining the world, or the arena of Strife. Welcome, Baby Teddy.
Spanky Ham 123.
We couldn't live without.
It's my favorite kind of ham.
We couldn't live without Spanky Ham.
What do we got? 2 more here?
We'll do this one and then 2 more, yeah. So, we got 2 more right here.
I'm going to give you that one.
Arcio Terry. Arcio Terry. We'll do that. Nice picture of a... I don't even know what the hell that is.
What?
Arcio Terry. Congrats. Some animal with
This is
horns.
top of a cow goat.
Goods. Goods ZZ. Good ZZ.
Man after my own heart.
And because I have so
There we
much
go.
fun with this, guys, and you were going to give away 3 keys,
Yeah.
and I said let's give away 20.
You made it 20.
Just to make it a pain in the butt for you, I
Yeah.
suppose. But you know what I think we should do?
What are we going to do?
I think we're going to give all 20 of these people, we'll give them 2 keys. So they can bring a friend. They can bring a friend in with them. How's that sound?
There you go.
Sounds good.
We
Yeah.
just went from 3 to 20 to 40 somehow. But there you go. Malik insisting that we do that, so we'll be doing that. So there you go. So all the people that won here today, you'll be getting an extra beta key to go ahead and give to your friend, obviously, to join you in the world of Strife. So how about that? Again, so guys, all you need to do, you go to Strife.com, you go to the player portal, you enter the key there once you create the account, and then you download the game, and you'll be joining us. We're looking forward to many, many more players to join. Again, guys, it's called Strife Daily. There'll be plenty more giveaways throughout the future. We're got plenty of content coming here. The idea is every day, 3 p.m. Eastern to 5 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be coming on having some fun. You definitely don't want to miss it. Malik, any words you have for the community out there you want to say?
Oh, come on. What do you got to put me? What you got to put me on this? This is why I don't come on camera for you guys,
You got to be put on the
right?
spot. I mean, you're in front of the camera now.
Yeah. Well, we're excited to see you guys checking out what we got going on with Strife. We can't wait until more people can play it, and I'm pretty excited about the Strife Weekly thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can continue to grow this audience and get more people interested in the game.
Twitch.tv/Strife, guys. So we got the Strife Daily. We got many more projects planned for this channel especially. So amongst not only if you got the key, definitely playing the game, follow this channel, guys. This is the beginning of great things for this Twitch channel and for the game of Strife, of course. So thank you for tuning in. With that said, of course, we'll be back tomorrow. Twitch.tv/Strife. The Strife Daily continues tomorrow. Don't want to miss it, as always. Have a good night, guys.
Yep.
We'll see you next time.
Thanks for coming.
Best facts NA.